Happy 2017. What's the goal after starting 1-0 in conference play?
Well, I mean, the goal right now is to go down to Jacksonville and be better than we were the other Saturday against TSU. I mean, that's our goal, to get better in practice today, and hopefully we go down there and play well.
What's the main concern with Jacksonville State talent-wise? What are they?
Well, they're an interesting team. They're the other night at UT Martin, at one point I think they were 10 of 11 from the three-point line. They hit 16 threes in that game and shot over 60% from the three-point line, so they're very dangerous. And then the next game against Eastern Illinois, they struggled. They get up and down. They're very athletic. They're a great rebounding team, and his teams are always outstanding defensively. They're going to be very aggressive defensively. They have, an all-conference caliber player right now in Brianna Benson, and then Destiny Macklin was first-team all-conference before her injury last year, and she's back, and she looked really good in their last game, and looks like she's back in the flow and back to being the player she was before the injury. So we'll have our hands full. Several people that can really shoot the basketball, good point guards that are small and can handle it and have good quickness. So, that's the biggest thing. I think the rebounding is going to be critical in this game.
Coach, from an offensive standpoint, how close is this team? You see 3 in double figures, another 2 really close to 10. I mean, as a coach, you probably want 5 in double figures, but how close is this offense to getting those other 2?
I mean, it'd be nice to have 5 in double figures. The one thing about it so far this season, our top 2 scorers have been extremely consistent. KJ and Lily have done a great job game in, game out. I think each of them have had one game that was subpar for their performance level. Bria Gullidge is that third one that's the most consistent. But certainly Bria Bethea and Jasmine Borders can both put up, 15 to 25 on a given night. And we have other players that can score. Kyra Gullidge does a nice job when she gets the ball. We've really got to do a better job. We're working on it, getting her the ball more. And what a tremendous job she's doing on the boards for us, for somebody who gets to touch it only a couple of times a game on the offensive end. 12 rebounds the last game, 5 block shots. So she's doing her job. And I think that offensively, we've got a lot to improve on. We're still not doing a great job making sure we get great shots. We're taking pretty good shots right now, which has led to, an efficient offense. As much as we got to the free throw line against TSU, we got there 33 times. I really felt like we should have got there 40-something times, because we really didn't attack aggressively in the first half. And that's something that has to get better. Our free throw shooting has to improve. If we want to reach our long-term seasonal goals with this team, we have to become a better free throw shooting team.
Leach, Wright seems to be shooting the ball extremely well this year. What's going to keep?
It's consistency and being able to be in practice every day. You go back to last year. I mean, she was in and out of practice with some injury things. There was a suspension at the beginning of the year where she missed practice. There was, her grandfather passed away right there at Christmas, and she missed a lot of practice time. And she was shooting it fairly decent before that happened. And then when she came back, she just never could get in a consistent flow. She'd have a decent game and then a bad game and then an average game and then a decent game, and just never had any consistency. But she wasn't able to be on the court every day, and that's the big thing. And then she's really locked in. She's a senior who knows this. She has a finite number of games left in college, and she's trying to do everything she can to maximize her time.
Talk about the difficulty. I know you don't look too far ahead, but you got the 2-game road swing Thursday, Saturday. What is the difficulty in that?
Oh, first of all, it's a long trip. It's the longest trip we could take in our league. You go down to Jacksonville and then have to go over to Cookeville. And the second thing is these two teams both have good length and athleticism, both really attack the glass. So if you don't have energy against these two teams, they can make you pay. So that's the first thing. Luckily we've been on a road trip like this, and it wasn't very successful for us on the court, but hopefully we've gained that experience and that knowledge from that trip to Ohio and East Tennessee State, which is a little bit longer trip than this will be. That's my major concern. Do we go down drive all the way down to Jacksonville and have energy that's necessary to win that game, and then be able to make the quick turnaround, refocus. I think this squad's been pretty good at refocusing and turning their attention to the other team the next day, and then can you bring that same energy and what's necessary in Cookeville against a Tech team that's a lot better at home than they have been on the road.
You're 6-1 at home, 2-3 on the road. Is that just a function of who you played on the road?
I wouldn't say it's necessarily a function of who we played on the road, but somewhat. Ohio's very good. East Tennessee State has been up and down, but I really felt like we played well early in that game, and then we ran out of gas. And I don't know if that game had been a single road game if we didn't have that long trip to Ohio and then another long trip down to Johnson City, how that might have been different. But we have played quality road opponents. The good thing is we've got a couple of road wins. So that's one thing we wanted to accomplish before we got into conference play, is get out on the road and get a victory, so our players have that belief instilled in them that they're going to get the job done on the road.